I've been having fun lately. It's been exciting times. Some of my old buddies from high school actually just came out to visit me in LA, where I've lived for 11 years. My friends finally saved up enough money to come visit me from cutting grass at cemeteries or whatever it is they do where I'm from. And they came to visit me, and I took them to the beach, and a bird shit in my mouth. Well, a bird shit in my mouth. Me, Tony Hinchcliffe, one of the top young rising comedians in the world. This bird waited for the one time all day, that just once out of that entire day, I laughed. And when I laughed that day at that beach, I laughed like this. I went, it happened that quick. Yeah. And you don't know a bird shit in your mouth right away either. Little fun fact for you, your eyes are closed on that big gluttonous laugh. You know, so I didn't see a bird. I didn't see a bird shit. My eyes are closed at that point right there, and there's a long half second that goes by from here to there, in which your brain is in a panic. The fuck is in my mouth? What the fuck is in my mouth? Did a friend throw something while I was laughing? That'd be weird. No. I knew a bird shit in my mouth when my head snapped back and I opened my eyes, and my 5 buddies from high school that were just standing right across from me on the beach were now on the ground, doing some kind of demonic laugh that I only think happens if you see your most confident friend's mouth get shit into by a bird. This bird and I have unfinished business.
I'm looking for a piece of clothing. My favorite comedian, Tony Hinchcliffe, wears these vests. I'm very happy with this purchase, yes. Yeah, Tony Hinchcliffe, he's like a stand-up comedian. I think he's probably honestly one of the funniest guys ever alive. Mm-hmm. Don't forget it. Check out Tony Hinchcliffe.
Oh, will.
If I was Tony Hinchcliffe, maybe I'd be strong enough to break this. I'm Tony Hinchcliffe. Wow. How do I look? For as long as I can remember, I've dreamed of entertaining the masses. Naturally, as I grew older, I looked towards the greats for inspiration. I'll never forget first finding Tony Hinchcliffe walking the streets of LA, showing the public what real comedy entails.
Hello, ladies. Will you be on my show about women that have the exact same haircut? Come on. Confused Asian tourists. Guys, how are you? What's going on? I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Here I come. Red shirt, motorcycle. You're too big for your motorcycle.
His unique and often indescribable sense of style was the first aspect of Tony that made itself abundantly clear to me. I was taken aback. His bravery, his comedic genius. I knew at that moment I didn't want to be like Tony. I wanted to be Tony. Maybe if I was as funny or attractive as my hero, I could become the entertainer I had always dreamed of becoming.
Sunglasses take away everything. Whereas with normal glasses, I still have a little bit of, I can
Right. Right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I don't understand what the fuck you just said.
The first step of a long journey is always the most important, and I wanted to make sure that I did justice to one of the greatest comedians of all time.
It's hard being a ranch hand, Tony. I don't know if you've ever been a ranch hand before.
I have worked on Brokeback Mountains. I know all about it.
I thought you were straight.
It's okay. I
began by studying Tony's mannerisms. What better way to understand someone than to watch them? And lucky me, Tony has blessed us with hours and hours and hours of material. One by one, I watched every appearance, Every clip, every set, how he interacts with his friends, how he interacts with strangers. As my research continued, I began to doubt myself. Could I ever attain my goal? Was Tony's comedic genius simply too high level for such a fool as myself?
I don't feel good. Pre-show predictions, I think I said that I don't think it's going to go well. I wanted to set the expectation bar low, and I did that. I set the expectation bar low. I bombed on my low expectations, which were to bomb. I bombed the bomb.
His sense of fashion, his need to articulate every word properly, and that iconic voice, all important parts of becoming as close to him as possible.
What do you do for work, Brent?
I work as a fashion stylist.
What do you think about my fashion? You like this? Is this cool?
Your yellow and mustard don't match.
I knew simply studying Tony, although extremely enjoyable, was not going to be enough. I was on a journey to become my hero, not just watch them. So I began practicing, writing jokes late into the night, performing them to a crowd of only one. I searched high and low for clothing as cool as his, and I practiced my vocal imitation at every given opportunity. Yet still, something was missing. As I watched the entirety of Tony's career through the internet, I began to realize I was seeing Tony grow, not only as a comedian, but as a person. I watched his transformation from awkward little stick man on the street to a strong, confident, comedic mastermind. And this is when it struck me. Thousands of hours I spent studying his mind would be useless without studying also his body. Day one of my search to become physically identical to Tony Hinchcliffe. I've searched across the entire internet and have been unable to find any video evidence of Tony being physical, maybe engaging in a sport or even going outside. On a recent episode of Kill Tony, I noticed Tony Hinchcliffe has a proclivity for throwing his joke books to well-performing comedians. This is something that I think we can work with. We need to first locate when he began this habit. It was episode 510 that we saw our first joke book throw. As of today, there are 210 episodes that need to be searched for joke book throws so that we can determine Tony Hinchcliffe's physicality. It's been 2 days of non-stop watching Kill Tony. I've watched 140 episodes of Kill Tony, approximately 300 hours worth of content. I've recorded 288 throws of the joke book. Day 8. Day 8. I've watched all 210 episodes. I'm completely caught up. Something's happening. I'm starting to become confused about who I even am, who we are. 681 throws have been recorded. I need some time off. What does this mean? All these notes, and yet I feel like I'm missing something. Although the research was necessary, it left a permanent scar on my sense of self, one that I was unsure would ever mend. My daily video logs only captured a fraction of the time I invested into studying Tony's movements. Across 210 episodes, I located 681 unique examples of his athleticism. Tony's form reminded me of something, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. By sheer luck, or maybe an act of pity from a higher power, I found it. Disc golf. Of course, his accuracy, his form, even his sunburnt skin, all byproducts of spending hours on the course. My first inclination to this belief was found in one of his appearances on Joe Rogan, episode 1821.
So much fun.
First time I ever got drunk.
But I see
14 or 15, playing disc golf with my brothers, who are much older than me. And one little bottle of the Mike's Hard, it was a Jack Daniels Lynchburg Lemonade, it was called, I remember. Because I'm like, this stuff's fun.
Yeah.
And I've played my whole life because it was really big in Columbus, Ohio back then. And then when I moved to Cali, that's like the Mecca, the oldest disc golf course, I believe, in the world. I think it was invented in like Pasadena or something like that.
Thoughts of abandoning the idea of becoming Tony had been seeping into my mind. This was exactly the breakthrough that I needed. But was this it? The answer to not only his physical appearance, but his masculine presence on stage.
Hey, I'm looking for frisbee golf, disc golf equipment.
Yeah, we don't have any in stock. If you want, we can order it for you up at the front. There is, if you need it quickly, there's a Walmart like a mile up the street. I'm sure they'd have some.
There was no way I could buy sports equipment at Walmart. Tony would never. I pored over my notes, searching for some other answer to this predicament when it finally struck me. The answer to all my problems was sitting in my very own hand. A little joke book filled with notes about my hero. Why would I search for disc golf equipment when I could train exactly like him? My book was a lot smaller than Tony's book, so I headed to the closest bookstore and searched for a replacement. I found a notebook with similar dimensions to the one I had seen fly across the stage so many hundreds of times. With equipment secured, I headed to the course. Admittedly, I had never played disc golf prior to this outing, especially with a joke book as my disc, but I knew that to chase my dreams of becoming a comedy legend, I needed to touch grass. My time on the course was relaxing, something I needed before I completed my transition, a full transformation into the legend himself. With birds chirping and the trees swaying in the wind, I found myself in a profound and questioning mood. How could I fully embody a man I had never met? Another person with unique experiences. This line of questioning persisted in my mind throughout the duration of my physical training. Was there any possibility of becoming Tony without experiencing the very thing he's known for? But I would never be a bucket pool on Kill Tony, nevertheless an actual guest. There was only one option. The soul has been a topic of debate for as long as philosophy has been a topic of conversation. The existence of a metaphysical essence consisting of one's entire being can be debated, sure, but there is without a doubt an unseen driving force in some individuals that, despite our physical or educational attempts, can simply never be recreated. This unseen force drives those who have gone on to create beautiful works of art, defeat incredible enemies, and face devastating odds.
10 by knockout with an easy victory over Harvey Station.
Capturing this essence has been the goal of every brushstroke of your favorite painting, every award-hungry actor, every passion-driven poet, and now me. At first, I was unable to locate anything that indicated Tony had a soul at all. That's when it struck me. Tony's empty eyes during guest appearances.
That's another thing that changed my life, is like I was raised with this council of much older brothers and sisters, 12 years, 14, 18, and 20 years older than me.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have a sister that's 58 right now.
His robotic cadence during one of the most influential moments of his life.
The rally drew criticism for controversial comments made by some of the speakers, including comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, who made disparaging jokes about Puerto Rico and people of Latin descent.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay, alright, okay, we're getting there. Now, again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody.
The one thing in his life he feels he had full creative control over, the only aspect of his existence completely created from his own pursuit of comedy legend status.
Give it up for Tony Hinchcliffe!
Tony's soul is bound to his show. It had been right under my nose for the entire duration of my research, a physical manifestation of the metaphysical comedic essence that drives him.
I said, have you ever seen a Sasquatch?
What's the best sauce that you're looking forward to making?
Kill Tony isn't just a group of comedians gathering to berate other comedians. No, Kill Tony is Tony Hinchcliffe. Without Kill Tony, what would our hero be?
Who's ready for the best fucking night of their lives, huh? Who's ready for the best fucking night of their lives, huh?
This line of thought led me to only one decision. I began creating posters for a Kill Tony show, a show of my own, where I could finally slip entirely into Tony's being, finally a chance to experience Tony at his purest, a chance to experience his soul. With the posters finished, I rushed to hang them around the city. Of course, Tony is the driving force behind the show, but the stage has a life of its own. The table, the bucket, the band. I knew my iteration of the show wasn't going to be perfect, but I didn't need it to be. Tony had started somewhere similar. To prepare for such an event, the culmination of months of work felt liberating. All of my hard work finally paying off, a chance to truly become a comedy legend. The thoughts of my name being amongst the likes of Tony Hinchcliffe, David Lucas, and Joe Rogan, I almost couldn't believe it. As the show date slowly approached, I began to feel a sense of confidence I had never felt before, a strength previously unknown to me. Maybe it was the excitement of being on stage, something I hadn't done in many years, but what I'd like to think it was Tony reaching from beyond the comedy veil.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming live from the Comedy Mothership here in Austin, Texas, for a brand new episode of Kill Tony. Give it up for Tony Hinchcliffe!
Yippee! Can we turn this down so I can see the audience a little bit better? Oh.
No one had shown up. Embarrassment overtook me and I broke down. Through my tears, I wondered, this entire journey, I had maintained focus on a single goal, yet after everything, I had achieved nothing. How could this be? Of course, it was my arrogance that had blinded me. I couldn't expect crowds of people to simply show up for this ridiculous performance. I had never even produced a well-performing comedy special. How could I ever imagine hosting a show as successful as Kill Tony? Maybe the world didn't need another comedian, artist, genius, whatever else you might want to call him. Maybe the world just needed me to be me.